This is AI.R. Artists in Residence Broadcasting, coming to you once a week from New York City.
Hello, I'm John Cullum, and this is Emily Frankel.
Your wife.
This is Emily Frankel, my wife.
We are going to talk today about a post I wrote about blackouts. I wrote the post for my blog, M's Talkery, and because I was very concerned that Obama had discussed and has been discussing making plans to fix the electrical grid situation in our country. Well, the problem is so big, it makes my brain do somersaults.
Well, it's all tied in with a gas shortage, and we have to create all sorts of new ways for energy sources.
Well, anyway, Obama got $3.4 billion, a part of the $7.8 billion stimulus plan that Congress has passed. And it means jobs, it means industries will also contribute to that money. But I'm afraid that the Tea Partiers are going to start crying, no government, meters in my basement.
They don't realize how serious it is. I mean, there were hundreds of dim outs when we were in California.
Remember, that was because of Enron buying the power and selling it back to cities at double the price. Yeah. It was very, very serious.
Well, California still has a lot of problems.
Remember the blackout of 1965? I was 6 months
pregnant. Yes, I do.
And I was at my agent's office on 57th Street, that great old building. I was on the 14th floor, got in the elevator, nothing, stuck. They managed to get the elevator door open. I had to walk down 13 flights of steps and walk 40 blocks to get home.
And I was there waiting with candles lit and little snacks on the table.
John, read what I wrote about the statistics.
Well, you say here that there was 80,000 square miles affected, 25 million people.
And it got worse. There was a second blackout in July of 1977. This one was violent, scary, fires, looting, arrests.
Oh, yeah, that was a nasty.
Damage was in the billions.
Yeah, I was in the trip back down at that time. I remember I didn't get home until 2 o'clock.
Oh, I loved you in that show.
Well, thank you, Mom.
You were good in that show. I remember you circling the beer glasses.
Oh, yeah, well, you helped me in that show. Was that the time we had the doors were banged in when somebody tried to break in?
They took the door knobs.
That was something.
Anyway, then came the big, long blackout. There was a 2.5-hour blackout, 2.5-day blackout in 2003, August.
Oh.
You're in Urinetown.
Urinetown, oh yeah, and then it was canceled for a while, and
then we walked on the street. Remember when we bought candles?
Oh, is this the one that started in the day?
Yeah, 4:36.
Oh, yeah.
We bought candles, and then that night, all the New Yorkers of New York decided to go for a walk. Everybody was
very festive.
Good mood.
Yeah.
You say hello to strangers. There were no traffic lights. There were no phones. It was gridlock.
Yeah, and the mayor said it took 4 hours to get out of Manhattan.
Well,
I don't know how long it took to get in, but I don't know if anybody wanted to get in.
Well, by Friday, in the heat, there was 92 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Food was melting. We had food in the freezer. It was mushy.
Shows were being canceled. No movies.
And it was serious. In hospitals. Hospitals with generators weren't able to save patients. Read what I wrote about that.
As well, you say here that there was outages in Cleveland, Akron, Toledo, upstate New York, and Detroit, and most of New Jersey.
And the radio promised us, this was at Friday night, they said at 1 a.m. you will get lights, and at 1 a.m. we did not get lights. The next day there was no lights. There were no lights.
I remember us going to the window and looking out to see it.
And the neighbors had lights.
Yeah.
And we waited, and we just stood there waiting. And we were bored. And also the food was not edible.
We had halfway food.
Well, finally.
Halfway good and halfway bad.
Finally, around 5, the lights went on. And you went to do a show.
That's right. I walked to work.
You didn't have a shower.
Well, only you would notice that.
It took how many days?
3 days. 3 days. That was
to get back to normal.
Mm.
And our lights still flicker unpredictably. We still use our appliances at a minimum. Even now, in the heat of the summer, we do a little bit of air conditioning, but only when we're sure that there aren't warnings about look out for dim out folks. This is a serious problem, and it's not just our country. It's Australia, London, China, Tokyo. This fixing of the grid is a very serious, big problem.
Well, in the 2003 affected 55 million people, and that was just 7 years ago, and it's going to get worse.
Well, we used to talk about millions, and now we talk about billions. We used to talk about millions of people. We're talking about billions of people being affected if this power grid does not get fixed. So all I'm hoping is Obama will get it fixed. Go, Obama.
Go. Yeah. Well, if it happens again, at least we've had some experience, and we know what to do. We can hold hands.
This is AI.R. See you next week.